Right, I am with Anna McNuff at the National Running Show on Sunday.
Yeah.
And it's Fiona Bugler from Endurance Women, and I'm meeting definitely a definition of endurance woman here. So Anna, if you can just tell people a little bit about yourself and your running history.
Yeah, so I ran as a kid. I remember cross-country races and the taste of blood in my lungs and all of that going on. But I didn't run much after school. I actually became a rower, so I rowed for Great Britain for a few years. And it was only when I gave up rowing when I was about 23 that I had time to fall back in love with running.
Yeah.
And I just love running. I mean, the simplicity of it, the fact that you just grab your trainers and head out the door. There's no bits to fall apart other than your own body, and so really I started falling in love with running again in my 20s, and then I just started doing longer and longer distances, and I think I realised I'm not a sprinter, I've got no fast twitch fibres in my body, but the rowing background had given me this endurance, and so I just set out to start testing it and seeing how far I could go and when my body would break and when my mind would break, and that's led me to here.
So what was your first test of that?
My first test of that was probably I entered a race called Race to the Stones, which is a 60-mile running race, and that was a real experiment going, I don't think I can run that far, but let's find out. And I promised myself I would train for it because I thought if I enter, you have to train. And I got completely sold by the marketing video where they run through poppy fields. And I watched it and there's music playing and I thought, I want to run through the poppy fields. And I got 3 weeks out from the race and I hadn't done any training, and I thought, you are not pulling out of this race, like you are doing this race.
And when you say you haven't done any training,
like,
what?
I hadn't run more than an hour, in the sort of the months leading up to it. I know, stupid, so everything says don't do it, but I thought, no, I'm going to do it. And so it was so painful, and it took me 13 hours and 40 minutes to do it, but I made it, and I woke up the next morning in so much pain that I actually rolled over and sent myself an email and said, don't do anything that stupid ever again. Honestly, love you, Anna, but you're an idiot. But I'd done it, and I thought, well, if I can do that, then, and all that got me through was my head and playing mind games and listening to songs, and I thought, well, then maybe I can do these long distance runs and maybe actually a longer, multi-day.
So was it the realisation that your head had got you through?
Yeah, that was it.
But do you think you had a baseline of endurance that helped as well?
I think I did have a baseline of endurance that helped, and the rowing had helped me. But ultimately it was all my head, and then I thought, well, if my head can make me do that, then what else can my head make me do? And then when I decided to do, so I found this trail in New Zealand, which is a 2,000 mile trail, and I decided to run that, and I thought, right, well actually I don't want to be in that much pain every day because that's not going to be fun, so I did do training for that. Only for about 4 months I trained.
So how old were you when you did this?
That was not long ago actually now, so I must have been 29, but it wasn't until 28 that I started discovering adventure, and but I'd always done endurance things. I love the sick monotony that comes from endurance sport, that, and I'm a bit of, much as I'm quite gobby, I'm a bit of an introvert, and I actually quite like time by myself and just, you and your trainers on the tarmac or the trail.
But it's a big thing to go from being someone who likes time by themselves and likes doing endurance to committing to massive events that you've done. And were you working? Were you, how did you manage it all?
Yeah, so when I did my first adventures, I was in a corporate job. I was working in marketing, and then as time wore on, I just thought, I did my first big adventure, which was a cycling trip through every state of America, 11,000 miles of that on a beautiful pink bike.
Wow.
And on that trip, I felt like me. I felt like the best version of myself. Brilliant. I was outdoors all day, talking to new people, meeting people, and I thought, I think this is what I'm supposed to be doing in my life. I've got no idea where it's taking me, but I just, it's like a little heart compass, ticked into place, and I went that way. And so I guess I got into it through that, but I was working, and then it was a sort of a 5-year transition from doing contract work, saving up for an adventure, going on an adventure, thinking it might be my last one, then coming back and going, no, and it came harder and harder to go back to a normal day job. And so now I earn my living from speaking, writing, being an adventurer, basically.
Brilliant.
But it's not like I swan dived out the office window,
No, that's the thing. I mean, I find it really, the story of people who do what you're doing impressive and interesting, and that it's not a simple thing.
No,
and it's not easy for you.
No, and
the interesting thing is when you made that decision to follow your heart. I think
that's it,
and that that's so important for all of life, really, to just go. I'm going to do it.
And it's scary because in one way, what this life looks like. I know what my normal life, and from the outside, I had a great job. I had a good career path. But I wasn't happy and inspired to get out of bed every day, and I just thought, do I want to be sat here in 20 years' time? No. And if I don't, what am I doing here now? You know,
Brilliant.
and so
It's a
that
brave
was it.
thing to do. It's a
It is
brave
brave,
thing
and it
to
was
do.
scary because you are effectively jumping into, I don't know what this other option looks like,
Yeah.
but this one feels like constricted,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
restricted.
Good on you.
Yeah,
Brilliant.
so.
And you know, I think for other women who maybe what would be scary might be taking part in the first park run.
Yes,
So
absolutely, yeah.
Tapping into that, it's kind of the old book, feel the fear and do it anyway.
It is, and I think that is the thing. Like, if you're going to do something worthwhile, whether it's a 5k run or a 10k run or a marathon, you're going to feel uncomfortable. You know, doing something that pushes you out. It's called your comfort zone for a reason. You know, getting outside of it is you're going to have self-doubt, and that's normal. And I think it's just in understanding. They're just voices, they're thoughts. Your actions don't have to follow those thoughts. You choose what you do and which voices you listen to. So.
And what do you think people can learn when they come out of their comfort zone? You've said basically you're happy, but you know, do you think that women will gain a lot in their lives they didn't expect to gain? Have you?
Oh, I think that's the beautiful thing about pushing yourself beyond what you think you might be capable of, and then finding out is that you look back and in one way you're the same person as you were at the beginning. The only difference is you now know you can do it, whereas before you hoped you might. But in another way, the dial has just shifted on life. You've just gone, oh well, if I can do that, you know, maybe I can do something else. And I find every adventure and journey I do, I think I know what I'm going to learn, and I have no idea. And then it unfolds, and I go, wow, I didn't see that one coming. And I've changed as a person, and my perspective on life has changed. So for me, adventure and endurance has become like a tool for personal growth almost. It's the way I feel like I'm sort of self-actualizing. I'm growing as an individual, and because you experience so many things like kindness and all this other stuff that eventually gratitude, realizing you can be very happy with very little. All those other things that come back into your everyday life and will make you happier and more
So
grounded.
when you're very happy with very little, you mean when you're out on the run?
Oh, I've just got a
looking at
backpack
a
on me.
great-
I stink. I haven't had a shower for 10 days. Now my hair's standing up like a unicorn. And I am so happy because I've got me, the mountains, and my running shoes.
Brilliant.
And I don't need anything else. And then you come back and open the door to my flat and go, what is all this stuff? You know, what are all these things? And what are all these things I'm doing to get these things? Maybe I don't need to do that.
No,
you know, and
you
it just
don't.
puts things in perspective, I think.
Well, I do think the endurance women premise is that with the more women who push themselves, like, you know, maybe not, they won't do like you have exactly, but whatever it is, they push the dial of life, as you said.
Yes.
The more people that do that, the bigger social change that could come about as
Huge.
more women, particularly women. I'm not, you know, anti-men or don't think men can do it too, but I focused in on women. Because women, I think, direct the change from the inside out, from the family out, so I think it could be the time where we could push glass ceilings and all of those things through sport.
Well, this is the thing, especially more with women. No one can tell a woman she's good enough until she tells herself that. And I think that's what it's been about for me as well, is going, you know, I got to the end of the run in New Zealand, and I remember standing at the lighthouse at the finish line, and I just thought, like, I'm enough, like this is enough. That's okay now. Like, I'm done. And that feeling, I just thought that is so rare because we're constantly like, I could be more, I should be better, I should, and then to feel something where you think, wow, I'm really proud of myself. Like, that's an amazing feeling.
I mean, that's what we're all hoping to feel.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
It's brilliant that you've done it.
Yeah.
So in the day-to-day training stuff, you know, the kind of what you do and how you get up, you know, because you're not going to feel like running every morning.
Oh no, I'm terrible. I think I put a tweet out the other day where I'd been in the car all day. I was in Canada. I'd been in the car all day. I got out of the car at 5 o'clock. I knew I need to move. Like, my body needs to move, right? It took me until 8:30 until I actually went running, and that whole time that mind about maybe I'm tired, maybe I should eat something. Oh, I don't know, it's like cold out. Oh, look, it's snowing now. Or do I have my head torch? All these stupid excuses, and I shared it because I wanted people to see I do go through that battle as well. So I like to run 2 places, so kind of run commute. So if I've got to go meet a friend for lunch, I'll leave 2 hours early and run there, and then get the bus back.
And that doesn't feel like it's something you have to do as part of a trip. Do you follow a training schedule?
I did for the run because I quite like structure because I think you can relax when you're struck. When I like a good plan and like relax to know the plan. But in everyday life, no, I just run when I feel like it, or sometimes I run when I don't feel like it. But I don't really follow a training program. So
do you do speed work or not really? Or?
I don't, but I might do if I haven't yet done a marathon as fast as I could do it. So I think when I do go for that one, I will do speed work. And I did do a bit of speed work for the New Zealand run, but mostly because my adventures are long. It really is about just just lasting the distance rather than going fast. But,
So do you have a weekly mileage you stick to?
what was I running for New Zealand? I think I was running maybe 70 miles a week in training to lead up that, and that was to effectively run about 20 miles every day when I was out there. But at the moment, no, my weekly mileage might be, let's say I do maybe 26 miles. I'll probably do 40k over a week at the moment.
So you don't put yourself under pressure to stick to certain things or regimes, but you have a plan.
Yeah, and I'll fit in and out of it.
relaxation.
Sometimes I'll go, right, I've got this goal, therefore I will have a training plan for it. But I think because my background was in elite sport, I had all that. I had numbers and split times. So now I just quite like to run, just
especially out on the trails and
and for your head, you know, for the mindfulness of it.
And I think from speaking to you, one of the key things that a lot of people can get, and a lot of endurance women can get, is more about from, you know, what it will teach you about your life, and your helping you to uncover things about yourself. And obviously then you look great like you do.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I love chocolate and all that stuff, but I think that's it. I think it's about, it does teach you to just love yourself. You know, look in the mirror and be like, you're freaking awesome. You know, you need to do that to yourself.
You do.
And I think if we love ourselves, then that's when you love other people, and that's when great things come into your life. So
Well, final question is, what's next?
Oh, well, my last adventure was a cycling adventure after so I did a big run, then I did a big cycle, and so now I'm feeling the need for another running adventure, but probably won't be till next year, so lots of short runs, little exploring.
So watch this space.
Yeah, watch this space.
Thank you so much. Brilliant interview, and you're really inspiring. Thanks a lot.